Hi everybody, this is my Module 12 case study for ELD852, and again, I'm Megan Dusky. So a brief outline of what I'm going to be covering today. First, the case and facts. Second, legal and or ethical issues. Third, what has happened. Fourth, the facts. 5, review of information. 6, options and consequences. 7, weigh the options. 8, choice. 9, implementation. 10, reflection, and then 11, my standard. So, Section 1, the case and facts. So there is an issue with who should be developing the mission statement for the mission and vision statement for the newly developed 6th grade through 8th grade building. The people that are involved are Susan Potter, which would be myself, the principal, Joe Rawlings, the superintendent, Helen Burke, our English and social studies teacher, and then the advisory committee. So basically what's happening is the committee just wants to say yes to whatever I come up with, and I'm wanting this to be more of a critical task that gives me a chance to learn about the area, the school, their values, and develop a mission and vision statement together. So the advisory committee is made up of 4 teachers from different subject areas, 4 parents, and myself. The first conflict was between Ms. Burke and myself, just a casual conversation about our next meeting and what I was going to task the group with to come up with our vision statement. The second conflict would have been at the advisory committee. They agreed that Ms. Burke, they agree with her that I should develop it and then share it with them, and they just agree with it. If they had issues with it or if they found flaws with it, then they would let me know and I could redo it. But more than likely they would say yes because I was the expert. I am unsure if their statements are genuine or if they're with sarcasm when they refer to me as being an expert in the curriculum and attitudes and behaviors. I thought that was something interesting. So the second one is legal and or ethical issues. So I want to point out in here that nobody has been harmed, but I do believe that there is a risk of relationships being ruined or getting off to a really rocky start at the beginning of this. There's no deceit of the law and there's no breach of contract. So as far as ethics goes, I'm worried about the responsibility, trust, the caring, and the citizenship. I do really put a lot of emphasis on the relationships being off to a rocky start or potentially being ruined from the get-go because they are new relationships and they're being tested right from the get-go. I really want to focus on the relationships and how they could affect the running of the school in the long run and the overall atmosphere that will be at our middle school. If this goes very negatively, then it could lead to harassment in the future, but hopefully it's not going to come to that. So the ethics, they are our moral compass, and it's what guides our behavior during a situation. Ethically, I want to build a community of collaboration and respect. I want to encourage responsibility and trust between the advisory committee and myself, and I want the advisory committee to know just how much I do care and want us to work together and be successful to promote some citizenship and creating a community school that everybody feels is valuable. So Section 3. Susan Potter, myself, the new principal of Lightville Middle School, is attempting to develop its vision statement with all stakeholders' input and is meeting resistance. So the facts. The first set of people that I listed are the people that it affects immediately. And then the second list of people that I have on here is who I included that it could affect long-term if it's not resolved in a respectable and manageable way. So the people that are directly involved and affected right now are Susan Potter, Joe Rawlings, Helen Burke, and then the members of the advisory committee. And then the second set of people that I have listed are the people that it could, end up affecting long run. It could end up affecting students, staff, parents, community members, and then board members as well. I do feel like that I am being affected because I'm getting off to a rocky start with my staff and meeting more resistance with the tasks that I try to bring to a small group to help bring us all together. Mr. Rawlings is affected because he oversees the district and he needs all parts working together in order for us to be a beneficial school. Ms. Burke is affected because she seems to be the liaison between myself and the other staff members at this current time. And then she also has a brother who's on the Board of Education who will likely listen to a lot of what Helen has to say. The advisory committee is affected because they are the forefront for our new middle school, and they have a major hand in developing the vision statement and the future of the middle school. It is known that Helen is a crucial piece to my success as an administrator, especially in these early stages, and I need to work to gain her trust and the trust of the advisory committee. So where this is taking place at Lightville Community School District. It is a rural area. They have grades, or a building K through 6, and then another building 7 through 12. And it's located on a 65-acre site 2 miles from the town of Lightville. 60% of the residents live on farms. There is an elementary school, like I said, that's K6, and then their other building is 712. The elementary school has been here for 22 years, and the secondary school has been around for approximately 11 years. So the program, it is a public school that services K-12. Because it is a public school, we can make the assumption that they do have a special ed department. They do have curriculum. We know that because we have different teachers who are teaching parts of the curriculum. They have extracurricular activities, and they have an increasing population. Right now they're at approximately 1,200, and this is about a 2% rate of increase. And I wanted to note that that's due to low land value, and then these newly constructed buildings have been a huge perk for people wanting to move in, seeing that they have new schools and that they're able to have a reason to continue building for an increase in population. So Section 5, information. I do believe that this conflict could be extremely damaging to the stakeholders, which includes the community. The inability to get all members on board to see the vision for the school can definitely ruin those relationships. And as we all know, relationships are the forefront of everything. It's the foundation. It's how everything begins and remains strong. If we don't have relationships with our staff, I'm not going to be able to get buy-in from them to implement other changes, whether it be the vision or random things I want them to really focus on throughout the school year. The community already had a split decision on which way to go to decide for the new construction, either adding on to both buildings or completely doing a new building instead. So there's already a little bit of division we don't want to create anymore. So again, the people involved are the stakeholders, and they're vital to our success, and not all of the relevant stakeholders have been made aware to the current conflict that is developing right now. And I do believe that there is more that I can learn about the situation. I could learn about the current vision and mission statement of the district, as well as the vision statements for the elementary school and secondary school. I have enough information, though, that I can develop a couple of different plans. So my very first plan is I could do nothing. I could follow the direction and the advice of Ms. Burke, complete the vision statement on my own with my own sites and agenda, bring it to the next advisory committee meeting, and just hear what they have to say. My second option is I could call each member individually and ask them to tell me what they envision for the new middle school. And then I could bring the ideas to the next meeting and then attempt to get the committee to talk more about the topics and discuss them. Maybe they would notice a certain trend or a word that is mentioned by more than one person. And that would kind of get the snowball rolling for them thinking about the future of the school, because they'd be like, hey, 6 other people in this room had the same vision I do or had the same idea. So hopefully that would get some ideas sparking and we could make some progress there. My third option would be, and not my favorite, but I do think that this could happen, is I could call another meeting to order and just blatantly refuse to write the vision statement myself. I do realize that refusing to do something is an act of immaturity in order to gain what we want, very toddler-like. But I think that I could also provide this as a learning opportunity, that I'm not going to do it all by myself, and coming from a place of love, not because I'm not capable of doing it, but because I care too much about this school to just copy and paste somebody else's district vision or somebody else's middle school vision, because we're not just going to be a copycat of another school. We're going to be our very own school, and it needs to be something from all people that are involved. And I know that this vision statement is not the end all be all. I know that we could write it and review it again in 5 years and see if it still fits. But this is an option that I did come up with. So my fourth one, I could try again at the next meeting to work to create our vision statement together. But I would really like to use the next advisory committee meeting to be a learning opportunity and discuss the importance of a vision statement. It's very likely that they're not knowledgeable as to why a school has one. And so we could discuss this as we lay out the kind of school that we want our students to be a part of. We could talk about the character traits that we want our kids to focus on. It sets the tone for the kind of curriculum and the rigor that our district will be requiring from students. It is how future staff will know if our school is going to be a good fit for them, and it's what parents will read at the top of our letterhead on our website and posted all around our buildings. It is what we will be known for, not just myself. It's not a vision statement that the advisory committee is going to be known for. It's what Lightville Community Middle School is going to be known for. And because learning is collaborative, this vision statement should also be collaborative. But again, I want to throw in there that I know that creating a vision statement, who writes it and who doesn't, is not the end all be all, and that it could be reviewed again in 5 years. And I think that I would like to kind of throw that out there lightly to the advisory committee. Like, hey, if we write this in 5 years, realize, hey, this isn't working for us, guess what? We can come back and we can redo it. Just because we write it today doesn't mean it's set in stone for the next 15 or 25 years. It's something that we're going to continuously be looking at because education is changing and we want the best for our kiddos. So let's talk about the pros and cons for my option number 1. Pros for not saying anything: there's no power struggle, the vision gets written, I'm viewed as a team player because I did what they wanted, and then I would gain support from Helen and the advisory committee. Some cons: I'm viewed as a pushover, staff doesn't really feel like they're brought together, and our vision is somewhat meaningless because I just created it. So pros and cons for option number 2. There is no visible power struggle. The vision gets written. I'm viewed as a team player. I get input from others. I can make personal connections maybe with some of the members on my advisory team. Our vision has meaning behind it. Some cons: I can be viewed as weak or unsure. There could still be a power struggle. Some people might choose to not participate. It's going to take more time to make those phone calls to everybody. And some people could view what I'm doing as sneaky. Option number 3, pros. So the vision's going to get written. It's viewed as strong. I'm going to get inputs from others. I could make connections with the advisory team. I could learn more about the community. I could learn about their vision, and our vision would have meaning behind it. The cons: it's viewed as very abrasive and immature. There could still definitely be a power struggle. Some people might choose not to participate. It's going to take more time to get it done. The vision could end up not getting written because they refuse to work with me, and it actually could cause a rift between myself and every single person on the committee. Option number 4, pros: it will show my grit. I can educate the committee on the vision. It's going to get written. I'm viewed as strong. There's input from others included. I can make connections with my advisory team. I learn more about the community, and I learn about their vision, and our vision has meaning behind it. Some cons: there still could be a power struggle. Some will still choose not to participate. It is going to take more time. The vision may not get written, and it still could create a rift between myself and the committee members for those who don't agree with what I'm doing or don't want to participate. I will mention this a little bit later in my presentation, but I do think that it depends on who you are and what you believe on if you think that this is a lot for a simple vision statement, because I say yes or no. Because if you are somebody that believes vision statements are mindless sentences thrown together to sound good, then yeah, this is way too much work for those 2 to 3 sentences to be strung together and labeled at the beginning of your student handbook. But if you're a visionary leader who believes that your school begins and ends with that vision statement, then what I'm about to do is truly just enough. I'm going to go with option number 4. I'm going to choose to hold another meeting and extend my education to the advisory committee on the purpose of a vision statement and the importance of developing one together. I want them to see how I am justifying the vision statement's importance. Learning is not just autonomous, it is collaborative, and it needs to begin that way at our school. I really do think that this is the best plan. I don't want to be a leader who views doing things on my own as being the best or easiest option. And I do not want to start off my career at Lightville in a negative way. I want my staff and community to know that I genuinely care about the school and making it a great place for students and adults to learn. The teacher in me never goes away. Who and what I teach changes. I truly hope to put a positive spin on the need for input while creating a vision statement for our school. In this discussion, I do want to clue in Mr. Rawlings in, not necessarily for his grace or approval to move forward, but more or less to give him a heads up so he can be ready to support me should others call him with concerns. I do not think that this is an issue our Board of Education needs to be aware of. Failure of this plan, then yes, I would ask for Mr. Rawlings' guidance as well as the Board of Education's guidance for my next steps. I think that by discussing this at our advisory meeting, the stakeholders for which it directly affects will have been consulted. I do think that the options I proposed were creative and realistic. Option 4 happens to be my favorite, where I see several benefits. Even if they refuse to help me write the vision statement, they would hear the importance and hopefully gain a little bit of insight for the purpose of the vision statement. I would also hopefully learn more about the school and the community and could write a vision statement that would be appropriate for Lightville Middle School should that happen.